You reckon it will polish out?
Sometimes it's just difficult to reach. Oh dear. Oh, bang me head as well. Oh.
That one is a good cup of tea.
Hi, welcome back to the channel. I'm going to be looking at a Nissan Navara today. It actually belongs to Scotty's neighbour. It's got a loss of power, not entirely sure what's up with it. Done a little bit of research, as you should do as a mechanic, and found it could be something like EGR, suction valve, possibly low fuel pressure, number of other things including the MAF. So going to have a look at that, see if we can diagnose what the problem is and see if we can get it fixed for the guy. I'm taking the Hilux today. The weather is not great. It is particularly rainy. Hopefully Scotty will have everything underneath his carport by the time I get there. So I've just got in the Navara. It's very tidy in here, considering. Let's have a start of this thing. It's an automatic, as we can see down here. Started up okay. Loads of white smoke coming out the back. Got the Navara on the driveway, had to start it to get it on here nicely undercover so we're not getting soaking wet at least. It sounds awful. It sounds like a bag of mice. It sounds a little bit like a skeleton doing something particularly naughty to himself in a tin can, which is not great. I suspect, given the symptoms, which were that lost power, completely lost power on the motorway, driving at speed. It's got no power at the low end, no power anywhere in the range at all, and is making an absolutely terrible noise, which I'll demonstrate in a minute. That it's not something like the EGR or the fuel pump. It seems to have fuel in okay. There's a bit of white smoke coming out the back. EGR would give it low power at the bottom end. Turbo probably lost power everywhere and completely confused all of the equipment and the computer on there. We're going to have a look, going to have a listen, see if we can work out where the noise is coming from. Strongly suspect the turbo. Then we're going to have to try and work out potentially why the turbo has gone wrong, whether it's oil starved or whether there's something else the matter. But we're going to do some investigations and see if we can find out a bit more. Yeah, ready?
Go for it.
So this is Nissan's 2.5 YD engine, 2.5 turbo diesel, on the D40 platform, so 2006 Navara. I'm going to have a listen. I mean, we've listened to the turbo and it sounds pretty awful. I'm going to put the stethoscope on it and see if we can hear anything there. Don't want to run it too much, purely because I don't want extra bits flying out of it if it is the turbo. Don't want to cause any more damage. Maybe run it one more time with the stethoscope, very briefly, and then one more time to get some readings from inside, just to see if we can see and show that the boost pressure is incredibly low. And then we can start having a look and physically having a look inside here. So we'll take some of these pipes off, take this apart, have a look and see what's going on, and see if we can figure out what's caused the problem. So just a quick tip that I've picked up from other people giving me tips: always put a battery charger on your battery when you're going to be doing any diagnosis, and that way you don't flatten the battery while you're messing about doing all the diagnostics. I've got a great app on my phone called OBD Connector. It's an Android phone, so I've downloaded that. That tells you where different OBD connectors are in different types of cars. Exactly where it said. We've got these faults that have come up. One on the airbag, BCM, engine, transmission. P0581 STRG, SW/CIRC. Code says that it's crankshaft position sensor. I think I'll just do a simple test first. Just listen with my ears. I'm all clear. The Navara starts and runs, so the crankshaft position sensor doesn't seem relevant at the moment. We'll worry about that later and get back to finding the source of the metallic noise. That's nasty. I'll quickly check this oil. Yeah, plenty of oil in there. I got these bits off. You can now see the turbo, and I think we found part of the problem. That's never good. That should definitely not be that wobbly. That is terrible. So that is not going to be doing any favours. So if nothing else, the turbo definitely needs replacing. With a faulty turbo, the Navara has so little power, it's difficult to get it up onto the ramps. Oh, come on, come out sensibly. That stinks.
It's horrible, isn't it? Absolutely foul.
Mayonnaise.
Yeah, that's a worry. If that's not caused by the turbo, then worst case I suppose we're looking at a head gasket.
Yeah, I think it's going to be weird off. It's difficult to know exactly what needs to be removed, and fixings are awkward to access in all the tight spaces.
Yeah, I mean, it moved up there. I've got one pin in there that I don't know whether there's one that's attached. All the other ones came out. All the other studs came out. Well, they're not studs, they're just bolts.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
I'm taking off the downpipe to DPF bolts here, but it turns out you don't need to do that. You only need to remove the 3 fixings that are holding on the turbo to the downpipe, which Scotty takes off later.
There we go.
Fuse box, and is that a fuse box mounted bracket or is that turbo mounted? Fuse box mounted bracket. Okay.
This heat shield off, that is no longer terminated. That's still pipe holder bracket. And then that oil pipe. One of the oil returning pipe bolts coming. There we go.
Success. Okay. Well done. That's all return pipe as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's this one that's coming out?
So this one's another one that's turbo to downpipe or turbo to DPF.
This is a Swampy's Autos project rather than Double Duck Garage project really. So Swampy's done 99.9% of the work, but he's had to nip off and go and do something. So I'm going to undo 3 whole nuts and just whip the turbo off for him. I think it might be these pipes here that are stopping it from coming off. There is a bolt a little way down, so I'm going to get a small socket into there and see if I can get that off. There we go. Hey, we got it. Well, that was mildly awkward to get out, but here we have one turbo. The 3 nuts that I was talking about are the ones that go onto these 3 studs. So now the turbo's out, that will make life a lot easier. We can get in there, we can do some cleaning. There's a couple of bolts in the heat shields that the heads are rounded off, so we can get those out. Just give it, the whole area needs a general clean up to make it a bit more pleasant to work in, and yeah, we couldn't leave it like that and put it all back together, because that would just it wouldn't be the done thing. It wouldn't be good.
I'm back here at Scotty's. I don't know whether you can hear, it's absolutely throwing it down, so I'm really glad to be here where I've got a bit of space to work. Dry outside. Going to be taking what I've got in front of me, which you can't see at the moment. I've got the turbocharger here from the Navara. Going to be taking that apart, doing lots of cleaning, lots to do, taking all the broken parts out. So that's now, they're on order. We've got the CHRA, which is the cartridge in the middle, which is going to be replaced. Looks like the housing is in good shape. Everything, there's no chips in it, no scratches in it, which is really oily, which is probably a function of the seals having gone inside the old cartridge. I have to have a check in the air intake as well, make sure there's not too much oil in there, see if we can locate where that might have been coming from, whether it was coming from the turbocharger or whether some of the oil was coming from another part of the engine and getting into the turbocharger. We can do all that, but I'm going to crack on and get all of these bits done to kind of get them cleaned up, and then when everything turns up we can put everything back together. I'm going to crack this like an egg. There, that's that side off, but that shouldn't be like that. That's not good, is it?
Do you reckon it will polish out?
I suspect not. That's one very broken shaft, sir. Yeah, pretty sure it's not supposed to look like that. Going to take this ring off, and we can clean underneath it, clean all of this up, give it a good scrub, and get it all put back together again, ready for the new turbine housing. So the hole here that needs to be used to locate the CHRA, and the locking ring that goes over this. We've got the locking ring here as well, and the locking ring sits over the top of all of these individual flaps, and then this section here connects into the section on the CHRA where the wastegate housing and the wastegate actuator go. Get this VNT off. So it's the VNT ring, so it's a variable nozzle turbine. Some fins in here that are able to be changed. I need to take this off. These are T25 screws. I'll start taking those out. There's 3 studs in here. They normally have actual rollers on them that hold the ring. One of them was broken, which is part of the problem with this thing. That's going to need a bit of a clean, I think. So just out of interest, I'm going to take the old cartridge apart, now I've cleaned it, the old CHRA. It should have the turbine going through the middle here, all the turbines attached, just to see what it looks like inside. Sealing plate inside there, all the various different keyways in it. And pin valve. Oh, that's a horrible mess. It's all ground up and oh, it's all shaken to pieces. The inside's all dented and bashed up. Actually, that's torn off from that bit. They're not supposed to be separate pieces. And then that bit was over there like that.